The United States Fish and Wildlife Service holds a unique distinction, as it was the world's first wildlife conservation agency. Today, it protects 2,000 fish, wildlife, and plant species around the world. It administers 95 million acres of land and 850 million water acres. It began its life more than 150 years ago as the U.S. Fish Commission. The commission was created in 1871 to tackle a serious problem: the depletion of fish stocks along the Atlantic coast. The first commissioner of the new agency was Spencer Beard, a naturalist who had been running the Smithsonian Institute. In 1940, the commission was renamed as the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. The agency has always existed to implement ideas. In its work, it has been aided and inspired by some true heroes of conservation. Some, at times, worked for the government. Others were writers. One is remembered as the conservation president, Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt cared deeply about conserving wildlife and wild spaces. He created the first federal bird reservation at Pelican Island, Florida in 1903. This marked the beginning of the National Wildlife Refuge system. Another influential figure was Aldo Leopold, a professor and author who pioneered the field of environmental ethics. In his youth, Leopold had worked for the federal government. He played a major role in establishing the Gila National Forest Wilderness, the first official wilderness area. A beautifully written book he finished shortly before his tragic death in 1948, A Sand County Almanac, remains highly influential. It is considered a classic of environmental writing. Marjory Stoneman Douglas was known as the Mother of the Everglades. After moving to Miami and working as a journalist, she first visited the Everglades in the 1920s, just as South Florida was going through a development boom. In 1930, she joined a group working to establish a national park to protect the fragile ecosystem of the Everglades. Her book, The Everglades, River of Grass, appeared in 1947, shortly before the opening of Everglades National Park. Rachel Carson was a biologist whose research on pesticides and their overuse was the basis of her landmark 1962 book, Silent Spring. Carson worked for the Federal Bureau of Fisheries in the 1930s and 40s, writing radio programs related to conservation. She went on to publish 4 books, the last of which, Silent Spring, would become both controversial and highly influential. Carson challenged conventional wisdom about pesticides. Her research and thoughts on the subject influenced the environmental movement as well as legislation. Her book helped lead to the banning of the notorious pesticide DDT. Today, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service seeks to inspire the conservation heroes of the future. This video was brought to you by the Public Education Project, an independent nonprofit group dedicated to improving public knowledge of the government by sharing the rich history and exciting stories of the federal agencies that serve our nation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe now to start your journey into the fascinating history of the U.S. government today. If you'd like to delve deeper into the rich history of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service or any other federal agency, be sure to visit our agency histories page at publiceducationproject.org. Featuring nearly 250 detailed pages showcasing the diverse stories of agencies dating back to the nation's founding. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook so you don't miss out on new videos and updates.